AskReddit by AskReddit. What movie has the greatest opening of all time? Contact. Starting at Earth, then panning out of the solar system, then the galaxy, then out to the edge of the universe, all while listening to older and older radio transmissions. Genius. Also that super cool shot with the mirror and the hallway though. Children of Men's opening scene is definitely up there. Children of Men is one of my absolute favorite films of all time. Scream 1996. I was startled. What really sold the opening at the time was the fact they really played up Drew Barrymore as starting in the film. So much so that she's the main draw on the poster. The entire theater was shocked. Removed. As far back as I remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. People looked at me differently and they knew I was with somebody. At 13, I was making more money than most of the grown-ups in the neighborhood. I mean, I had more money than I could spend. I had it all. One day the kids from the neighborhood carried my mother's groceries all the way home. You know why? It was out of respect. Unveiled. That turn from Landa just being polite and charming to your sheltering Jews is just hair-raising. Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan lost Best Picture at the Academy to Shakespeare in Love. Think about that. The Matrix. Screenwriter guy. We're gonna start the movie with some cops trying to arrest this lady Trinity and she's gonna kick all their butts. Producer guy. How is she gonna do that? Screenwriter guy. In such a way that movies are gonna try to imitate for a full decade. Raiders of the Lost Ark. No contest. It's movie magic defined. And with such a young Alfred Molina. Office Space. When he looks over and notices that the old man with the walker has gone further than he has in his car. Trying to rappel hardcore in his car, then getting scared and locking his doors when he thinks he in danger, lol. Snatch. They show how all the characters are connected. To this day, when I pull up to park and someone says I can't fit, I respond with you could land a jumbo fucking jet in there. The Godfather. That opening scene with Brando, the cat, the music. Just perfection. I Believe in America gives me chills every time I see it. That scene looks like an oil painting from the old masters. Did you know that cat was a stray that wandered onto the set and Brando took a liking to it? Also, Brando studied the silverback gorilla at the zoo to get the alpha male mannerisms. That's where he got the brushing his chin with the back of his hand. Lion King. Using that opening as the movie's official trailer was absolutely brilliant. When that trailer dropped, it was an event. Every kid was counting down the days for when it came out. We all knew that movie was going to be life-changing. 2004's Dawn of the Dead. Pure horror cinema right there. The Man Comes Around might be my favorite song of all time. Whoever picked it for the opening sequence deserves a medal. Super Troopers. Do you boys like Mexico? I love how the two towers just fucking started with a Balrog fight as they were falling through the void. I'm not a fan of the overused term badass, but that was badass. The Dark Knight. No, I kill the bus driver. Bus driver? What bus driver? 28 weeks later. I just explained this to someone the other day while talking about movies that make me unsettled. That open definitely does it. Lord of War. That's the one I was looking for. Awesome opening. Removed. If you find yourself alone, riding in the green fields with the sun on your face, do not despair, for you are already dead is such a raw fucking quote to serve the viewer in the first 5 minutes of the movie and then it gets better. Spaceballs. Have to be old enough to get some of the references though. I don't know what to do. I can't make decisions. I'm the president. The Watchmen. Times they are a changin'. Ever notice how Night Owl is punching out a mugger? In that moment he saves the lives of Bruce Wayne's parents, who are walking out of the theater on the left. And so Bruce never becomes a real-life Batman, and so Batman remains a fictional character in the Watchmen universe. You can also see Batman posters on the side of the building there. Not sure if all time, but There Will Be Blood's opening is great. Yay, that first part of them working the rig is so good you can't even blink. Sets up the rest of the movie so well. Deleted. The Departed. The opening of Top Gun was so good they used it again in Maverick. Danger Zone intensifies. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was classic. The transition from cartoon to the real world cartoon kitchen was so well done. LOTR, Fellowship of the Ring. I am R. Prestarine. Han Mathan Nanen. Han Mathan Nechai. Ahan Nostan Ned Gwylith. The world has changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much that once was is lost. For none now live who remember it. Star Wars. The music. Goosebumps every time. Absolutely. And before this there were usually credits at the beginning. The way Star Wars began pulled you right into the story. Saw it when it first came out in theaters. The opening scene of Ghost Ship is one of the best openings to a horror flick I can remember. Yes. That's still probably the most chilling opening to horror that I know. Though the rest of the movie is pretty meh, but it is kind of a guilty pleasure movie for me. Arrival. So beautifully devastating. Up. If you've seen it, you know it's true. Those 10 minutes are an award-winning film in itself. I've watched it dozens of times and still break down crying. Kung Fu Panda. Legend tells of a legendary warrior whose kung fu skills were the stuff of legend. Years later and that still cracks me up. The first time I saw it I knew it was going to be a great movie. Beautifully animated and scored as well. Jack Black did a fantastic job. All of them did. But his brand of humor just clinched it all together. The whole series is fantastic. Drive. The music, Kavinsky Night Call, fits perfectly with the scenes and then the speedy getaway from the heist is great. Chromatic tick of the clock. Once Upon a Time in the West. Nearly 12 minutes before the first words are spoken. Just awesome. Team America, World Police. Opening with that shitty looking little puppet show makes viewers wonder, oh, hamburgers, is the whole thing gonna be like this? But then we get treated to the glorious pan out, showing awesome attention to delicate detail. Fucking genius. For their first screening to some executives one of them yelled out, oh god they fucked us when the shitty looking puppet showed up before it panned out lol. The Jerk. I was born a poor black child. Deleted. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Any of you FFFFing pigs move, and I'll execute every motherfine last one of you. Boom. PL la 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 HAHA ha ra. Touch of Evil, https://yahoo.be/ehmyy5zm close bracket. No Country for Old Men. Never turn your back on Anton Chigurh. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Shrek. What a load of $. Apocalypse Now. Saigon, shit. The Lion King. You just heard the opening scene in your mind just by reading this comment. The original Star Wars. Not the title crawl, that part is a bit cheesy. But when the Star Destroyer flies over the camera. Absolutely epic shot, looked like nothing before it, and when seen in a cinema it's just chef's kiss. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Listen, in order to maintain airspeed velocity a swallow needs to beat its wings 43 times per second, right? Please. Am I right? I'm not interested. It could be carried by an African swallow. Hell, just the opening credits. The person who sacked the last person has now been sacked and replaced with a completely different company. Glorious. Not the greatest of all time, but an underrated one for sure, The Cabin in the Woods. That classic horror film title card with them just tooling along in the golf cart talking about work shit is so brilliantly done. Trainspotting. Choose life. Choose a job. Choose a career. Baby Driver. I love Terminator 2's opener. I wasn't around when it was new and watched it with my dad, so I had no spoilers, and damn, it is so good. Love it.